The Canola School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by BASF Canada and Invigor Hybrid Canola.
Hey, Kara Oosterhuis here with RealAgriculture.com. I am back here today with another Canola School episode, and I have here with me Angela Brackenreed, who is an agronomy specialist with the Canola Council of Canada. How's it going today?
I'm good, Kara, thanks.
Are you in one of the areas of the prairies that got hit with some of the frost last night?
Yeah, this morning mostly is when it seemed like that we dipped below zero. I don't have a great handle on the extent of that frost, the duration, just how cold it got, but it does sound like a lot of Manitoba anyways was impacted.
So if producers did get hit with some of this frost, what are some of the things they should or should not, I guess, be doing as well?
Well, I guess we want to get out and assess our crop today. Take a look at the pods and just see if you're noticing any impact of that frost, 4 to 6 hours after it occurred. But really, we shouldn't be making any decisions today. We want to leave it for a few days and really try and get a full understanding of how that's impacting things like mostly pod integrity is what we're concerned about at this point.
And what about the difference between if, are you talking if crop standing or crop swathing, or how does it impact at different stages?
Sure. So I guess there's a couple things. There is the impact of the frost on immature canola. So if the seed moisture is higher than about 20%, we can see that frost will actually lock in green. Then there is the impact on kind of immature green pods, where you can see the frost kind of dry them down, like rapidly desiccate them, dry them down quickly, and start splitting those pods. And so we have yield loss, not necessarily quality loss. So for the standing crop, maybe more of an issue of shattering pod drop. For immature crop, the concern from producers' perspective is more the quality issue.
So is there anything really, I guess, that can be done at this time of year? And is there anything that producers need to keep in mind if they are, taking off some of that immature canola?
Well, there's no perfect answer, unfortunately. I think on the bright side, a lot of our crop is past the point of being, at that stage where it's vulnerable to the effects of frost. So that's a good thing. But we do, there's in Manitoba, for instance, there was more crop than usual seeded the first week of June. So there is absolutely crop out there that could be susceptible to this damage. So the decision becomes, well, producers started thinking about this as this frost was forecasted. Should I be taking steps now to maybe knock this crop down, try and drop that seed moisture so that it isn't susceptible to damage? And that's always risky because we don't, you don't know for sure. Just because we have something forecasted doesn't mean it's going to happen, as we're all well aware. We also, you need at least 3 days to get that moisture dropped down. So if it's not going to significantly drop in time for the frost, now you've potentially sacrificed yield by swathing too early and not really protected the swath. And then there's the considerations after that frost happens of, should you be trying to potentially get out and swath before shelling occurs? There is things that we can be doing. I would venture, this is definitely a generalization, but I would venture to say that in most cases, it's probably impacted the very top of the canopy, probably fairly superficial. Most likely better to leave it, let it mature further, and kind of continue on with regular plans.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
We have had some questions on, so this is mostly relating to folks that are planning to straight cut, and they're wondering about how should their plans change as far as pre-harvest applications. So when we're thinking about a product like glyphosate, of course, not going to work as readily or as well when we've had those cool nights and, cooler days, cloudier days. So there's that consideration. There's also the consideration of how hard was the frost. Maybe it has done some of that dry down for you. Exactly how hard of a frost we need to see substantial dry down, I'm not entirely sure. And we, frost can be so variable and penetrate the canopy differently depending on, the architecture of that plant and plant population. So it's tough to say, but that's something to consider as well and kind of watch for in the coming days, how it's maybe dried down some of that stock material. And I guess really it's just watching the crop and seeing how it's reacting to that frost event.
Okay. And when you are looking for frost damage, what's the longest length of time like that it will, like you said, you have to wait a couple days, but would you say after, 3, 4, 5 days, that is the extent of the damage?
Yeah, I would say generally what you're going to see at the end of the week is what will happen. Not much will change after that.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, Angela.
Thanks, Sarah.